Good evening and welcome to the programme. First tonight, the King and Queen have spent the day in Cornwall, where they were greeted by crowds of well-wishers who turned out despite the rather unwelcoming weather.
Charles and Camilla took part in a number of visits, ranging from art galleries to charities supporting lonely and vulnerable people. More on that in a moment. But first, let's speak to our reporter Sam Blackledge, who is live in St Ives, where the royal visit started today. I mean, Sam, what a day. What was the atmosphere like?
Yes, Ellie, this was a really big day for St Ives, and it was clear even from early this morning that there was a real buzz around the town. The King and Queen weren't due to arrive in the town for their first visit until around lunchtime, so as usual all the various media and dignitaries gathered nice and early and got set up, and I was amazed by the number of people lining the streets with hours left to go just to get a glimpse of the royal couple. But as you'll see in my report, some of them got a bit more than that, as the King and Queen were quite happy to mingle with the public. He may no longer hold the title of Duke of Cornwall, but the people of this county will always have a special place in His Majesty's heart. On their first official visit as King and Queen, Charles and Camilla started with a spot of Cornish culture, enjoying a whistle-stop tour of the Barbara Hepworth Sculpture Museum in St Ives. Hepworth lived and worked here for 26 years, and today the royals were greeted by her granddaughter Sophie, here on the right, who proudly showed them some examples of her grandmother's work. Head gardener Jodie Dickinson, whose career was supported by the Prince's Trust, presented their Majesties with some rare seeds from a cineraria, which was planted by Barbara Hepworth herself back in the 1970s. The King wasn't afraid to muck in and help.
It was a great honour and privilege to meet His Majesty and to show him the work that we've been doing collectively with the Hepworth estate. It was incredibly exciting and nerve-wracking, but he was very friendly and amenable, and so he made it a very enjoyable experience.
With such an event, you're always incredibly excited, and with that comes a little bit of nervousness, which is probably very understandable, yes, but mostly excitement. I think we're just all so thrilled that they were able to make the visit today.
From there, it was time to grab the umbrellas for a short stroll down the hill, past more crowds of well-wishers, to the harbour, where the royals met local RNLI crew members and was serenaded by choristers from Truro Cathedral.
When we heard at breakfast that the King and Queen were coming, we thought they were joking, so we asked 3 different people.
He came along, shook our hands, and he said, "Have you been in the sea yet?" And we said no, and he said, "It's colder than you think."
We were waiting for the King, and he walked past, and we said hi, and he came up to us, and he shook our hands. He was like,
the first people to shake his hand.
Yeah, and then Camilla followed him, shook our hands as well. Our hands were very soft as well, by the way. But
he's a really lovely man.
By the end of the visit, in typical Cornish fashion, the sun was out again, and the brollies made way for bouquets. Sam Blackledge, ITV News, St Ives.